There we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the AWE podcast. This is Hollywood McConnelly with the double biceps there. We get both arms in just for everybody watching. Welcome to the show. The man sitting to my left, but to your right, the co-pilot, the co-founder, the co-breather of air, the co-wearer of clothes. In this very room, it is, in fact, the master of disaster, the king of sting, the count of Monte Cristo. It is Thunderlips, the ultimate male. It is the winner of the Dave Stockbridge of the Year award. There it is there, the illustrious award held by the illustrious man with the illustrious beard. It's very nicely sale of the century sort of style, showing it off there.
And so I do your biceps every week.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
There you go. I missed that. I'm looking at my own arm.
Yeah.
I've never looked at anything else. It's like when you get a photo and they go, here's the photo, and you're only looking at yourself.
Is that normal? Is everybody doing that? Or is it...
You're like, yeah, no, that looks good. Yeah. And the other person's like, you didn't even see them. I've never seen you do that, and I've watched this intro. Like every single episode, I've never picked up on you doing that because I've only been looking at my arm.
I do it every week.
Really? There you go. Well, let me finish the intro. It is, in fact, your friend and mine. It is Dave Stockbridge.
Thank you very much for that. Very, very warm welcome, and massive week here at AWE headquarters. We've got so much on our plate right now with the big event coming up. Something's captured your imagination there.
I've never seen you do that. I literally haven't. I've only looked at my own arms.
Yeah,
every single time.
It's just underneath your arms that I'm doing.
That's
it as well.
weird. It's like there's a black spot, and then it's just my arms. That's it. There's nothing else. That's all I'm seeing.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Interesting.
That's very weird.
Yeah. Is it weird? Are you the same? Well, big week. So much going on in the world of AWE with AWE Underground kicking off. So we've got several of the matches that will be rolled out between now and Christmas occurring there in the beautiful Sunshine State of Queensland, so just south of Brisbane, and so very much looking forward to that. That all happens this Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, flying out. Well, I'm flying out tomorrow morning. You'll be flying out Saturday morning. But we are heading up to Bris Vegas, and it should be a lot of fun. We've got some amazing matches, and we talked about the majority of them last week, but we've still had one in the can, which very much excites both of us, which maybe we'll discuss in a little while. But
yes.
There are some awesome matches going on, including one of the biggest matches between the biggest men in history of the arm wrestling world, and that is Matawaringi Hedda-Morris and Marcus Tirai, both 172 kilos of humongous arm wrestling, a human. I'm glad I don't have to drive. Oh, maybe I do actually have to drive one of them.
You do. And he's going to be waiting for you there at the airport. I saw him doing this on his Instagram there, and this that you can. His goes like that.
Oh my God.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's doing that, but that's already like 14 inches around his wrist. It's insane.
Wow.
So, I mean, he's obviously there to make sure that he is at the front of the line for the next heavyweight title matchup. He's definitely looking to cement his place at the top of the AWE pile. And then you've got, really the young upstart, Marcus Tirai, who's really just burst onto the scene in the last 12 or 18 months and has quickly grown. He doesn't stop growing.
That's right.
He's getting stronger every day, and really at AWE one showed us that what he'd been working on over COVID, and really dismantling Adam Laura and Lachlan Carpenter on the day, and I was so distressed that Lachlan Carpenter got beaten so easily.
He's your favourite,
I was having little flashbacks just there. I was just I do like Lachlan Carpenter, and so
it's just his impression, isn't it?
I don't know why he just doesn't do it all the time. Like why he just doesn't have his own satirical channel.
That's fantastic.
Yes, he's a comedic genius. And then of course AWE 2 against Gunters Bykovs, who was reigning and defending, and with all of the experience and multiple title holder over the years, and the current AWE heavyweight champion, and who just got away with the win against Marcus. And so you've got these two young, just enormous human beings who are going to collide over the arm wrestling table this weekend, and I absolutely cannot wait.
It's going to be enormous. Absolutely massive match. Fox 8 Ball says that Marcus Atirai is a shaved Yowie and that we are cheating. Well, he is a monster of a man, and both guys very lovely people. It's quite
very
funny,
gentle
isn't it?
souls.
That's right.
You know, it's completely the opposite of what you might expect. If you're looking from a distance and never spoken to them, you might just gently walk on the other side of the road, just make sure, just don't upset these guys.
That's right. And you still bump into them, but
you can't help it unless they're walking down the road sideways. You're gonna the shoulders are gigantic.
That's right.
Yeah,
I did like your description of when they'd walked from the hotel here to the studio, which I think was 3 streets or something. And you were standing out the front, and it was just getting to dark, the sun was just going down, and around the corner came like 20 figures of this.
All I saw was that the entire street was filled up with silhouette, and it was like Marcus must have been in the middle because it started like a pyramid, and it just and so you could see it was maybe like 15 to 20 gigantic arm wrestlers, but also it could have just as easily been one gigantic dude with massive shoulders in the shadow. So just imagine that just emerging around the corner, and you can't tell,
God,
is this one giant or is this like 25 giants? Either way, I don't know. And the sun was just cast aside for a moment. The shadow projected deeply down the road, and I was quite struck. Momentarily I had to that fight or flight
turn and
the fight and flight instinct kicked in, and I had to work out what I had to do, and then but they were all very cheerful lads, and we had pizza, so they were really happy.
Exactly. We just sort of pushed food at them. No, don't eat us, eat this.
So awesome dudes, awesome guys. So big matchup. And you can't help but feel like here's two young athletes that are going to have a rivalry over the years. You know, when you share such a similar physicality, you know, you're always going to be in that category of like superhuman. So we got normal human beings, then we got the superhumans over here. These are the biggest and the strongest, and those two, and because they're both relatively young guys, so they could be around for another 30 or so years. And I love it when Matarangi, when he posts about, I'm a student of the sport, I'm only 10 years in, I've got a lifetime to learn, and it's like you're almost elite already, but he feels like he's like still at the beginning of the journey, at the at the bottom of the hill, at the bottom of the mountain. So which is frightening, because like can you imagine? If that's his mind state, and where he sees himself in another 10, 15, 20 years time. It's
it's incredible. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a perfect mindset to have, is that you're always learning, always wanting to get better, and never sort of reaching the peak of the mountain and saying, okay, I've conquered everything now. Because you see the people that do reach those peaks, and if they haven't got something else that's pushing them and driving them, then they do tend to lose focus and lose interest quite quickly. If there's no big challenge or no big challenger to overcome, it can be that the motivation starts to drop in terms of getting in and doing the work in the gym, or just focusing on learning new techniques, or it can be like, well, I've beaten everybody, or I've learned to these things to the highest skill level that I possibly can. Maybe I'm losing interest in this. Whereas if you look at somebody like Matarangi, he's saying, if I'm still in my mind a beginner at this. I'm still learning every day. I go out there and I train and I try to get better, which is what everyone's goal should be, is always trying to improve, regardless as to where your skill level is. I mean, if you're very first day on the tables, your level from when you first walk into the door compared to when you leave that night, you would have improved dramatically in terms of your skill and your knowledge. even though you probably got about 30 people telling you 100 different things, and you're going out going, I have no idea what anyone said. My arm, I can't move my arms now. But that motivation is so important. And when you hear about somebody that has that mindset, it's like, well, this guy's, he's just always going to continue to get better, and we are seeing that with Matarangi.
Yeah. So, what's really exciting about arm wrestling at the moment, and it is a little bit like UFC was all those years ago in so many ways. And one of those ways at the moment is that you've got Matarangi, who's like a strength athlete, purely a strength athlete. And he's found his way into arm wrestling. And then on the other side of the table, you've got Marcus Atirai, who's got that BJJ background, the wrestling background. He's a grappler, he's an MMA fighter, and then he's now finding a pathway into arm wrestling. What's really interesting is that both of those athletes are right at the top of their respective fields. They're right up there, and could really continue to pursue that for as long as they want to. They're both young men, but they've turned their attention to the art of arm wrestling.
Yeah,
and this is where they see their future. And this is, to me, this is what's really exciting. So and really cool about seeing these young guys, on AWE and other promotions as they start to really make a name for themselves and cement their place in the hierarchy of elite arm wrestlers.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. No, you're absolutely correct. And say hello to a couple of people in the chat. We've got Fox 8 Ball. We did mention him. Josh Barker is in the chat. He will be taking place in these matches we have lined up this weekend. I believe we're sharing a room to save on costs up there. But he's taking on another monster of a man. What is it with Brisbane and having absolute Queensland, especially, and having absolutely giant men? So Josh Barker taking on Tyson Bryce.
Yeah, I had to order the shirt. It was like a 5XL.
Yeah.
5XL.
It was a sheet with armholes.
It's huge. That's like Matarangi style. So, there's only two other men, and that's Marcus and Matarangi. They're the 5XL. So we got 3 5XLs,
Yes.
three mammoth human beings.
That's right. Josh Barker is taking
Josh is just going to hang off the side of one of them. Amazing.
Yes.
Josh, what do you think your chances are out of 10? Like, how confident are you? Like, would you be honest? Like, let us know in the chat. We're very keen. Maybe you can jump in on the podcast and talk a little bit about how your preparation's going. Can we send him a link? Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. I can do that.
Maybe
I can. Yeah, but you'll have to talk to the kids while I set this up.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I'll continue chatting. So I'm really looking forward to this event for a whole lot of reasons. One, it's the first opportunity we've had to catch up for the most part since AWE 2. And so much has happened since. It's been a real roller coaster ride, so it's a great opportunity to connect. This is really the first bunch of installments that we're filming, and of course but it's not going to be in complete sequence as to how they'll be released. So we will be releasing Mazahir Saidu versus Ryan Bowen. So there's a very special edition that'll be coming out with respect to that massive matchup on the mean streets of New Delhi on the 10th of November. So those people that might have already penciled in the 11th, and there have been a few because there was some talk of some conflict over dates with East versus West, I think it might have been. So that's definitely not happening. It will be happening on the Friday, and in part that's because our friends at Pro Punja have a huge event where they're expecting about 650 arm wrestlers to attend, and they're all going to be arm wrestling Ryan Bowen in the afterpool. So
one up the other.
Yeah, so it's going to be a massive lineup. So that's going to be absolutely huge, a massive big event in itself. So win, lose or draw, there's still going to be so much to see. This is going to be a real clash of cultures. We've got Ryan Bowen, who's notably one of Australia's most awarded arm wrestlers, whether it's YouTube plaques or walking around with medals around his neck. He's been a multiple Australian champion, and on this occasion he's coming against India's finest arm wrestler. So Mazahir Saidu, who recently in front of a staggering 34 million unique viewers, walked away the king of Indian arm wrestling, the heavyweight Pro Punja League champion.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
It's going to be very exciting. So
and
yes,
you will be there.
I
You will be
will.
ringside.
I
So
will.
yeah,
That's right. Yeah. So yeah, well, we'll be flying in the day before. I think I get there in the afternoon, like 5 o'clock or something like that, and then Ryan gets in, I think, at 9 p.m.
Good.
So
it's just all in an effort to ensure you don't have diarrhea before.
that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm just not eating or drinking.
How are you going to prepare for that? Because that's a big concern for Westerners
It is.
landing in that part of the world.
Yeah. Well, I think the hotel we've chosen deliberately was upper market.
Okay.
Yeah, more expensive than what we could have gotten. I think they had ones that were about $10 a night.
Got bidets installed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It was just a hose. Just
That's what you need.
No, that's right. But yeah, that element. But I think in this hotel,
it's a big element.
it is a big element. Not in the hotel we're staying at. So
Okay, should be good.
yeah, it should be good. We're right next door to, I think, where this is taking place, so we shouldn't have to travel too far.
Yeah.
I am genuinely nervous about eating or drinking anything there. I'm just going to be very, very careful.
So if you're one of our Indian friends or anybody who's spent any time in the subcontinent, please maybe let Matt know a contingency, how he can deal with this, where can he go, where can he eat, where's safe, what's not. He'd be very keen to know.
Well, one of the best things I was watching, somebody sent me a link about this with Billy Connolly, who went over with his family.
Any relation?
It was the same birthday.
Really? Actually?
Yes, it is actually. Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
his name's spelled differently to mine. Anyway,
Yeah.
but he took his family over there, and he'd said to his kids, like, they had all these bottles of water lined up in the kitchen, and he said, only drink water from these bottles. Like, don't drink out of the taps. And when you're brushing your teeth, use a bottle of water and keep your mouth closed in the shower and all the rest of it. He didn't realize was that his kids were drinking the water out the bottle, and then when it was empty, they were filling it back up from the tap. And he did not know that that's what was happening. He was guzzling on this.
No.
I
I don't want that to happen to you, Hollywood.
No.
I don't want that. I think what'd be worse is the flying in that condition.
Oh God, yeah.
Like the chances of that, it's really high unless you got a really good plan. Like, do you pre-pack it? Can you take food? Are they almost setting you up for this to happen by not letting you take food?
I think I've got some plans in place. I have talked to some people, and I've got things sort of set. But
You do?
Yeah.
You know people over there?
No.
No.
But I have
you've
looked up
got-
strategies
You have?
and formulated.
What are
yeah.
some of the strategies? Is there medication you can take that helps with the
I think after the fact, if you've caught it and maybe with rehydrating,
what can you do before?
Well, I don't think there's medical. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into that.
There's nothing. Yeah.
Probably nothing. But only sticking
Just
to
wash your hands.
stuff that's been cooked in good establishments, like the reputable restaurants.
Yeah.
The bottled water that still has the seal, so it's not just bought from a street vendor or something like that. Stay away from the street food, and those other tips of bottled water with brushing your teeth, close your mouth in the shower, don't go in the swimming pool, all those sort of things. So it's gonna be interesting.
It's going to be interesting. Have you seen that video of that guy who's like cutting up chicken with his toenails and things like that? Like that.
I like the fact you've been sending me all these horrible videos recently with the guys eating, and there was like 20 rats also eating from their meal.
They're like making food for other people, and the rats are just coming in and helping them. So, and they're not bothered with them. They're just like, yeah, everybody needs to eat. Like, no drama. Like,
The rats were
plenty to
in
go
the
around.
meal, and they just kept, get out of the way.
rat
Jump
bits.
straight. Yeah, get out of the way.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's a different way of life. It's not a way of life, I don't think, your digestive system can attune to in the very short period of time you're there. That's why I'm very concerned. But do you fast? Can you fast? How long are you going to be there? 4 days? 5 days?
It's only a few days. So
Could you fast?
I could.
Yeah, I think you could.
Right.
I think if you go, you eat like an enormous amount, calorically, like you're fulfilled, and you go into full bear mode for like 5 days. Like you
It's
come
like
back,
I just could never eat another thing for 3 or 4 days.
Super fucking lean. If you
I'd be
didn't eat for 5 days-
stage ready by the time I get back.
Yeah, yeah, you'd be ready. Maybe I would consider it.
Schedule a photo shoot on the day back.
Oh, yeah, mate,
Super lean.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Also very
Is it still,
dehydrated.
I'm sure it'll be warm. It's always warm over there, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're in the southern hemisphere, same as us, so they'll be heading into summer.
Hemisphere.
They're not.
Yeah, they're above
India,
They're northern hemisphere.
northern.
Northern
Are they
hemisphere.
over the equator line?
They're way over.
Way over.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
They're like on.
I thought they were sort of in line, but a little higher.
No, they're pretty up high.
Okay, there you go.
They're like,
But they are.
They're like Vietnam high.
Oh,
Yeah, like
There you go.
I mean, right at the top, that's China.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, not going there, though.
Yeah, you're not going to that bit.
I'm not going
I
there.
think you're going to go to a bit that's closer to China than what it is like Sri Lanka.
What the Punjab is right at the top of
It's
India,
right at the top. Yeah,
and New Delhi is southern of that, south of that.
just underneath it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's where we'll be for a few days.
Yeah. Are you going to get a bit of Punjab in your moustache before you head over? Just
Oh, is
to
that what
kind
they
of
do?
Yeah, well, the old chap was telling me yesterday, he had a real spiffy little thing.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, it's Punjabi style." I'm like, "Oh, is that right?"
Okay.
Very distinguished. Very,
Was he?
yeah. Well, his beard, his little moustache was
Well,
over his beard. It was very, very spiffy.
cool. Okay, there you go. No, I don't know.
You can
I'll
if you
see
wanna
what
blend
happens.
in.
Yeah, I think I will blend in. Definitely somebody that you easily gets lost in a
Yeah.
crowd.
I reckon I could blend in. I just need to use a little bit.
Yeah, if you that's all it is.
Yeah.
If you got that, then hang on. Oh no, that guy's all right.
Definitely.
Yeah, he's one of us.
Yeah.
You can tell by the moustache.
It's our fat cousin.
That's right. Fueled by arm wrestling. It is Trent. He says always learning. That's for sure. And he has Violet coming. Thunder Lips. I think he's talking about Dave there. Absolutely. And Chuck Norris once had a dream. He kicked Marcus Itirai in the mouth. When he woke up, he called to apologize.
Oof.
Oh, yes, you don't want to be doing something like that.
No.
Absolutely. And I did miss this one before. Imey King, who is here in Adelaide. I will be catching up with him.
He's here.
He's here. He's here. I'm going to catch up with him after the show. We'll go through some table time and some practice together.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he lives in Queensland, so he'll probably be up there. I think he might get back in time because I'm there till Monday, so maybe we'll catch him up there as well.
Very cool.
Yeah, for sure. What do we got here? Trent says the King of Sting. That's right. He's naming all your names here.
Is
He's
it
going
me?
through the list.
Oh.
There we go. Dominic Lawrence says it's that time again. It is absolutely good to see you in here. And
See
Couch
you, Dominic.
Apple, Dave's favorite, has jumped in here. That's right, Mr. Couch Apple. Evening, gentlemen. Hope you're doing good.
Good evening.
Yes, to you too. And I missed the timing of the match on 10th of November. Yes,
We
we
don't
don't
have-
know what that
no.
timing is either.
No,
I know
but-
there's a tournament
They've
running.
got a tournament, 650 arm wrestlers.
Mm.
How long does it take to get? How many tables?
That's a
There's only
lot.
one table.
There's only one.
So it's a
Yeah,
long day.
It is.
Um,
That's why we said the 11th.
yeah. So everything was slated for the 11th, the Saturday, and but there is a big festival going on there, and Pro Punja have their event, so they said, hey, why don't we just roll it all? There's already going to be hundreds of arm wrestling fans. Let's just put on a big show. So so that's what's going on. And so it has been moved forward to coincide with the Pro Punja event that's taking place there in New Delhi. So we want to thank our friends at Pro Punja. Of course, if you haven't already, give them a like. I'm sure Couch Apple's right across everything that's going on in the world of Pro Punja League. So but yeah, 10th now. We'll try and update times as we draw close, but I've got a funny feeling it's going to be later in the day. But I'm sure if you set up your notifications, because it's going live on Ryan's channel, channel or Instagram.
Instagram.
It's going live on his Instagram. So Ryan trying to pump up those Instagram numbers, I suspect. So yeah, so we're going live on the Instagram. So if you want to see it, and of course, if you want to know the whole story behind the event, then you'll have to wait for the very special documentary that's being put together by this young man beside me here. So it's going to be
Features
very, very
Coach
cool.
Ray and Giannis, I believe.
Yes. They've got a lot of experience with documentaries.
I love documentaries.
Yeah. So So we're still waiting to
They're
see
not
the
in, they're not
release.
part of this at
You
all.
know, they do take a while. You know, don't they?
They do.
You know,
I'm
to
still waiting to
film
see
and
it.
produce,
Mm.
and then you've got to put it up, and then somebody's got to do the edit, and
yeah.
now they've got to put the subtitles in because it's all in Latvian, and then so they've got things. I wonder if they dub themselves.
They might in other languages.
Whether they have an English version of the interview or the thing where they do it, because obviously they speak English very, very well, and then they've got a Latvian version as well.
Yeah,
and so they could cover both markets, I guess.
I wonder which language they think in.
Well, I've got a Dutch brother-in-law, and I asked him once because he came to Australia when he was about I want to say 15 or something like that. So and didn't speak a lot of English, like broken, but of course got here and had no choice, but sped up pretty quickly. And I asked him, when did you stop dreaming in Dutch? He went, yeah, I do. I dream in English now.
Wow.
Wasn't really conscious of it, but it's like, yeah, when do you start? So, and it was a few years. It was like, yeah, I must have been, I guess, a few years. Yeah, just never really thought about it. But it's like, yeah. So is that the point when you stop dreaming in it? But, yeah. What language do you dream in?
That's Yiddish.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones.
There's no vowels.
That's right.
Yiddish there's vowels.
Yeah, no, there's an I.
Hebrew.
There's an I. That's great. Foxo Paul's favorite comedian is Billy Connolly, absolutely, and that's he's just lovely.
Birthday.
He does, yeah, but the surname is spelled one letter different. There you go. And Ivy King.
Can you pick which letter?
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, we don't have a prize. We might have some barbell foods. Somebody stole some of yours, actually. Well, not quite. I gave them away the other day. They couldn't resist. They were looking at them and I went, that's have a couple of those, Matt bought them.
All provided
to from Matt. But these are delicious barbell foods. So you can do us all a favor if you Barbell Foods, head over there, use the code word arm wrestle or AWE, and you're going to get yourself 10% off. And same when you go over to Bunsters, our friends over at Bunsters, they're longing to sell heaps and heaps of this to our friends out there in the arm wrestling world. Bunsters hot sauce when Tabasco, when you've matured beyond Tabasco. When you're ready for the next challenge, when you're ready to up your chili sauce game,
right?
There's a lot of us out there that Tabasco is nothing.
Yeah. How did you know that you'd gotten to that point where you're like, this Tabasco is nothing?
Well, I think when you start off, don't you? It's always just a little bit, so just like a couple of sprinkles. And it's like, that was a little bit, and then over time, it's like and then when you and it's nothing. It's nothing. Then that's the time.
That action that you did just then won't get clipped and replayed with different sound at all.
We'll leave it. Andrew won't mind the brand association at all.
It's like if you're eating a banana, and I learned this from Eric Bana, from the actor.
Oh, yeah.
Not in person.
His name kind of sounds a bit.
It does,
like
and that's why this came up. Was people were calling him Eric Banana throughout his whole school life and all the rest of it, and then
like deliberately or
as a
mostly,
joke. To tease him. Eric Banana, and he was on a late night talk show interview, and they said, there's all these memes of Eric Banana. They showed a few, it was a banana, but they had Eric's face and all the rest of it, and they said, "Can we get Eric Bana eating a banana?" And they gave him a banana, and he unpeeled it, and then he broke it in half, and then quarters, and then ate it. And he goes, "I know what people would be doing with it if I ate that like normal." I was like, I am going to remember that. That is a good lesson.
One I hadn't learned, and not till too late. So, but this is an Australian company. These people,
Mm.
it's amazing. It's an Australian success story. They've taken on the world, and they're the number one selling hot sauce on Amazon. So you can whack in. You can go to Amazon, I believe, and you can also go to the Bunsters Worldwide website and order yourself some of this. They'll deliver it to your door, as they did here. If you're in Australia, it happens pretty quickly.
Mhm.
I'd imagine they'd have distribution all set up around the world, given that they're on Amazon. That's
Number
a pretty
one.
big deal. Number one as well. So yeah, great product, great Australian product. It's all Australian made. You can tell by the little label on the back. And for the real men out there, that are ready to up their chili game, that's the one to go for.
Mhm.
It's a AWE endorsed product.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yep.
that's right. I can't even handle when the lid is off in the room. That's how spicy that thing is.
It's pretty spicy.
It's still, the
Pretty
lid comes
spicy.
off and it's like, oh my God.
And a quick shout out to our friends at Roll Clean. Roll Clean soaps are closing down. They're closing down. So it's sad times, but 30% off on all remaining stock. These guys, this was a real passion project of theirs. They had a huge line. They were running out of home. It was really overtaking their lives. Like some ventures, it all just becomes too much. Both have got such busy lives and are such wonderful people. And of course, both love their martial arts, but the Roll Clean story is drawing to its close. But if you love Roll Clean and want to stock up like I have, then 30% off is on many of the products in store right now. So rollclean.com right now. Head over there and no code words. Got no code words. They're just nice people. So we obviously the lack of support of our watchers, of viewers, has led to the downfall.
That's
That's all-
why.
there
It's
was
all
all on
your
it.
fault.
Yeah, I mean, we did our bit.
Uh,
No, but yeah, so a sad story, but in some respects, but in others, they've got the next chapter all ready to go. So, but get in there, 30% off.
There you go. Count Chappell has said that Lachlan Adair's next opponent has been revealed.
Oh, here's it.
He's going to compete with
Oh, yeah,
Chance
so
Shaw
saw
in
this. What do you
Knuckles
think of this?
Up 2 event in early January next year.
Mm,
This would be a banger. Wash hands.
I don't think it's a banger. I think this is Chance Shaw getting beat up. I think this is a simple equation.
Mm.
Lachlan Adair is just too much human being.
Yeah, it should be an interesting match.
No.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think Chance has definitely got a decent skill set. I know that Ryan holds a victory over him a few years ago, and that was originally going to be the matchup that we are going to have for AWE 1 until that's right, until Chance had an injury. Unfortunately, wasn't able to make it, but he is a strong guy. He is a strong puller. He's very experienced. He's got
Lachlan Adair strong.
Well, he's going to get some of the top guys in the world. He's constantly competing. I wouldn't count him out. I think Lachlan is probably the heavy favorite in it, but Chance does have a very fast, explosive start, and he does have the ability to win that match if everything goes his way.
This will be a really nice trip to New York for Lachlan Adair. He's already looking up and down Fifth Avenue to work out where he's going to be
Where
shopping.
Macy's is.
Yeah, he's
Macy's is here somewhere. yeah, Chance. All right, I'll get to you in a minute.
Yeah. He's got all the best pizza spots all worked out. It's going to be a really nice trip with very little exertion, I think, from Lachlan Adair. I think this is easy Lachlan Adair all day long. I think it's a mismatch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the two well-known names, and that's one of the things in the world of arm wrestling.
This is a very good point.
Yes, if you build yourself a character and a following and a social media sort of following, people know who you are. Even if you're not elite, you can get these opportunities. And pitting somebody like Chance Shaw against Lachlan Adair, I mean, the matchup primarily would have been made because not only did the Knuckles Up guys see this as maybe this might be a quite an interesting match, but they both have a following and they both have a name, and people will look at that and go, "Oh, I know both of those guys. I will watch that now."
It'll be like another reason to watch that card if there was another couple of reasons on that card.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like Lachlan versus someone you've never heard of and Chance versus somebody you've never heard of. It's like they're pitted against each other for that reason. It's like, I know who both guys are. I want to see that match.
Oh, I entirely see the rationale behind the match, and I think, this is exactly what matchmakers and promoters need to do, is to carefully weigh off okay, is this a brand? Is this a person that's going to draw attention, or is this somebody I might lose money on this time, but they're worth building up, or is this, so where does this person work in the mix? And what you've got in Lachlan Adair, and Lachlan's Instagram following is going nuts. He's doing great things. And with Chance Shaw, you've got two guys that are good meat and potatoes. They're on there. People know that they're getting high quality names that they recognize instantly. So I think that they're really good additions to a card and can draw attention. But I just think that Lachlan's just much stronger in every respect. So
yeah, it'd be interesting actually. I wouldn't count Chance out in it. I mean, obviously Lachlan is the heavy favorite, but I think
you do know you're seeing Lachlan Adair on the weekend.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm saying he's the heavy favorite, but I'm giving my opinion. I do think that Chance has a method of victory. It's not a complete whitewash as in me going against Lachlan, where it just there's literally no way I could win.
Yeah.
I think Chance does have a chance. Chance does have a chance to win, but everything would have to go his way, and everything would have to go against Lachlan in that. So yeah, I think that's fair. I'd be quite happy to say that to Lachlan. Say you're the favorite, but yeah, there's ways that Chance could win.
I haven't seen any of the background on this or any of the explanation. Maybe the promoter's working on getting some of the backstory there out there. So it'd be really interesting to see if there's been, where the idea of this match has come from. Maybe it is just driven by that. Hey, we look at the numbers as well, and these guys have, they've got big numbers. They've got an audience, and it's an audience that wants to see them perform, and maybe against another big brand arm wrestler that people are recognized. So it's good
absolutely,
move.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's not a bad matchup. I just think.
Yeah.
It's not bad from the promoter's perspective.
Oh, that's right.
It's just a really nice, easy trip for Lachlan.
Yeah, well, that's one of those things is that, I mean, if Chance does pull off a victory, that's massive for him.
It's massive.
And it really, even if he gets a couple of rounds or makes a really close match of it, it's like, cool, this is worth my time and effort having put this together, and for the audience to have seen this.
Yeah,
it sort of feels the same with Toddzilla and Matawaringi. A lot of people were writing off Matawaringi in that match, going, "This is just a free trip to Australia for Todd. It's just going to be walk in, beat someone, and walk out." Whereas that was very, very closely contested.
Well, with Ryan's match with Chance, the interesting thing about that one was that it kind of did propel or it lent Ryan greater legitimacy just before like the whole COVID thing. So we went in with that, and it's like, ooh, maybe Ryan is a giant killer. Like no one expected that, and that is Chance's opportunity, because if he can beat Lachlan, then Ryan Bowen's own maths would say that Chance beats Ryan. Ryan would hate that. So where do we go next? Like, is that question going to finally be answered if indeed Chance can pull off that victory, or is that ever going to be back on the cards?
Yeah, that is an interesting thing, and it would come down to how, like, if Chance did win that match, it would be, well, what was the method of victory that he used to win that? And maybe that's something that Ryan has a skill more dominant in the area than Lachlan may have. And so maybe then you could say, well, okay, yes, he beat Lachlan in that very specific way, but I know how to counter that way better than Lachlan does, or something like that. It would really just come down to what happened in the match. How did he win? And then you'd have the questions to follow up on.
Have all of Ryan's matches, have they been announced? Like, so
yes, Mezzi here.
Knuckles Up.
Don't know. Arm Gods. Yep, that's been announced.
Okay, yeah, I thought that was it.
Yeah.
So Ryan's matchups over the next few months are fucking amazing.
Yes.
You've got Mazahir Saidu on the streets of New Delhi in front of 650 arm wrestlers, let alone all the fans and the friends of the family. There's going to be bloody thousands of people there. This is going to be insane. So you've got that going on the 10th of November, and then He backs that up with a performance on Knuckles Up, which I think is first week of January from my recollection. So a big card forming there with those guys. So very exciting. Really looking forward to seeing what their follow up is after their debut event, which was great. They've got some fantastic ideas on how to present the sport. They've got really good production values. Their first events always have the little glitches, but these guys are really determined to put on a great show. So you've got that, and then of course you've got Ron Bath in Ireland on St. Patrick's Day.
That's right.
Ryan Bowen's star continues to rise in spite of everything and anything, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It's just incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. He's had some big matches which are lined up for himself, which is amazing to see. And obviously, maybe having some falling outs with some of the big promoters in East versus West and what's the other one? King of the Table.
Oh, that other one.
Yes. Well, when you said Knuckles Up, it made me completely forget what the other one was because I'm switching the K and I'm like, no, that's Knuckles Up. But King of the Table. But if he's not going to compete there, it's like, well, it doesn't matter to me. I've got these awesome matches that are going to happen in other parts of the world. We've got India, we've got Ireland, we've got Knuckles Up as well. That's just the 3 in the next couple of months, and then it's like that can lead into a world of different matches and different opponents from around the world. So very, very exciting news for him and for AWE as well to have somebody that, obviously we're all business partners in the AWE. So for somebody like Ryan doing so well and getting this profile, it's amazing. It's all great news from AWE's point of view because, maybe he goes, competes on these cards against these opponents. And then it's like the credibility and the interest has risen to, well, now people want to see him compete again, and it's like I'm going to do it in my own organization of AWE, and maybe we'll fire that person out. We'll put this, whatever. So it is all positive from our point of view. There you go, and we'll catch up on the comments here because we're a little bit behind. We've got the shit the bed hot sauce used by the Trailer Park Boys, by the way. Wow,
oh really?
There you go. I thought that show had finished. That must still be going.
No, it's like Ice Truckers. It's still it's season 38.
I can't watch that show because the guy bubbles with he's got these really massive, thick glasses that that make the eyes look really. I can't look at that. It hurts my head to look at it.
To look at him, it's just
it's just like So yes, but I know it's a very, very popular show, especially in Canada. The soap, by the way, Troops, not Winnie Blues. That's correct. It is soap, not cigarette packets. For the roll clean, the Iron Chef, too strong for chance. The Iron Chef, is that a new nickname that he's come out with? I don't know where that's come from, but yes, Lachlan, the Anvil Adair will be facing a Chance Shaw. When you see Lachlan and Chance at the table, it will be obvious then. Well, I'll be excited to see it regardless. What have we got here? We've got Fox April Arm Gods Thumbtack match, Island, March 2024. John Thompson versus Evan Burgoyne. A thumbtack match.
Oh,
well, there you go.
Interesting. Things are going next level.
There you go. And he'll be there taking risks for fun and for free. This is Fox 8 Ball. And RVJ and Ruin will also be at the same event. It's exciting. And Cow Shuffle says, Matt, what's a decent rise and pronation lift for a newbie that you would consider about average or really good? One I always recommend people
asking for a friend.
Yeah, that's right. Is those stretchy bands that you can get that if your gym doesn't have them, you can buy them online, or you can get them. They're like $8 to $20, and it doesn't really matter that but you just lay it across one loop across your thumb and let it hang, and you just stand on the other end of it, and then you're just pulling up in this motion. And obviously the further you bring your arm so that the band is stretched, the further the band stretches, the more difficult it is. So if you're a newbie at that position, just pulling against resistance in that, and doing that, say 30 times, and then changing arms and rolling back and forth is a very, very powerful way to introduce those muscles, which are quite small in terms of the wrist and everything, intricate sort of movements that are not natural. Like throughout your day, you're not really doing this movement a lot, maybe when you're driving, but it's not under heavy resistance. But So those elements, a stretchy band, very, very simple. That's all you need. You can do it anywhere. You just stand on the end, away you go, and you know.
Because of the popularity of arm wrestling, Nautilus have come out with a machine that does pretty much the same thing.
Oh, great!
Cost $1,400.
Oh God!
No, I just made that
Oh,
up.
yeah. The whole thing or the 1,400?
No, the whole thing.
Oh,
yeah.
great, okay.
Because you could literally just do it with an elastic band.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
right. We'll cash in on
But
it.
it does seem like something Nautilus would do.
That's
so,
right, yeah.
$1,400 machine do the same thing.
One of the ones.
We'd all buy one.
That's right. As long as it's in red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And or wait for the cheap York version to come out.
That's right. My favorite's when you lift whatever the machine is, like when you lift it and it shakes, the weight's like up and down the the spindle or the plates, and it's that's quality. Quality craftsmanship. Especially if you're doing like that pull down or something where it's quite, you know, you can put a lot of movement in there, which feels like the machine's got to take off. Yeah, we had at one of the gyms I used to train at that was very, very cheap to train there, but a lot of the equipment was from the 1940s.
Yep.
But the seated row was you when you put the stack on the seated row and you would get a few reps in, it would start turning. It wasn't bolted in. And so, you know, by the time you finish your set, you literally have spun it in a half circle and you're facing the opposite way.
So half the workout was putting it back.
That's right. Then you got to do another set to get back. But I snapped the cable on that. I heard it creak on the set previous.
That's not good.
Yeah. And so I had it on the stack or something. It was like maybe 12 reps or something I was doing, and I heard like a creaking sound, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. But I when I put it back and I looked at all the cable, I couldn't see anything. I was like, well, it looks okay. But at the next set, I put it on the stack again. I think I was 2 reps in, and you know how much effort you pull in to pull that thing, and it snapped, and I smacked myself in the chest and did a somersault.
No.
Backwards over my hips. Yeah, it's like these bruises here from the handle just hitting me so hard.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was an experience. And then that same workout.
Same workout.
The same workout. So
Who's your training partner?
well,
He's watching out for you here.
he wasn't there that time.
No,
that's why.
explains it.
Yeah. But the gym owner, like when that snapped, obviously it made a huge crash because the thing was.
Did he come and yell at you?
No, it's one of the guests we've had on the podcast. Yeah, it's Esther. But so she's leaned out. She's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "The cable is snapped." Like it's crazy. Oh, okay. I'll put an out of order sign and we'll get it fixed and everything like that. So I went on to the lat pull down, and you know I had the stack on that as well. And about second set in, the bar snapped in half.
No. What are you, Franco Colombo?
No, it was just like the equipment was not up to standard.
You were the one. What are the chances? Like statistically,
Yeah.
What are the chances of that happening?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It was.
Because
And
both of those things were made in the 1940s, so there's been a lot of reps.
well, we brought that bar in, which wasn't standard for that machine. So I think that's why. That's why. But yeah, so that snapped literally in half, and then the gym owner's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's not me. This thing's
You can't come
breaking."
here anymore. You can't come here anymore.
Yeah, but you could tell who had been training chest because when you'd use the cable crossover, one of the cables was frayed, and so it would slice your arm every rep, and you would have like all these little cuts, and you know,
and soon thereafter hepatitis.
you could see you'd walk in and be like, "Oh, you've been training chest over here because I'm bleeding."
You must have really liked training.
I did actually really like training. There it's still there. I mean, it's still the same equipment, I think. No, but it is a good gym, and I don't want to talk badly about it. But those two things happened at the same time.
Incredible.
Which was really, really. Have you ever had a cable snap on you? No. Okay, well, that's the end of that question.
Not that strong.
Maybe it was you have been lucky because I know you're a lot stronger than I am. So,
No, I don't know.
Cameron Grade's one of the newcomers to the South Australian team.
Ooh.
He's been working hard with David Hucks out in the country. Saw some footage of you guys pulling this weekend. He's looking good, looking strong, looking
You
like
can't be
he's
the great white though.
That's can't wait. The great white greats. That's right. But I believe
Yeah,
he'll
and
be-
are you a relation to Talia then?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
The
She lives out in
Greats
country.
family are very,
Yeah.
very well known in that
Yeah.
part of the world.
Yeah. You think it would have come up though? If
Yeah,
you-
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, might have made mention.
Yes, but I was asking about Dave's crease. Yeah, that's great laughing about whatever we were talking about a second ago. I've accumulated a decent home gym. I like the icon there. You've gone through and found that. That's fantastic. I don't need to leave the house. Cable machine, bench, curling bench, etc. Yeah, I have a bit of a home setup as well, but I really do like the atmosphere at the gym, especially having worked there for years. And then I walk in and
Are you all your friends there?
yeah,
It's
that's
like
right.
Cheers for you,
It
isn't it?
is. It's been. I literally spend about 40 minutes talking
To
to
people.
get into the gym. Like
Every step of the way, there's another reason to have a chat.
Hey, yeah. What are you doing? Oh, I don't even know what I'm doing yet. I haven't got there. I haven't got past the reception.
Yeah. Well, I was going to do chess, but that was when I started walking here, which was yesterday, so it was a leg
That's
day
right.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went there at 8 o'clock last night and I finished at 12:30.
That's insane. That's why I don't do any more than really 10-minute workouts, and
Right.
I got a cable crossover and a few dumbbells and little rack and stuff, and
Yeah.
that's all I do.
Yeah.
That's, but
You got the what's that? Gripzilla.
yeah, I haven't used it so much because my elbow is so shit. It literally, I think I did permanent damage with this.
With that.
I think so.
Oh.
I think so. Everything's flared up since then. And it's
Yeah.
not, And just when I think it's settled down, I'll go wash my car, and just simply that motion is enough. They're just shaking Gunter's hand. Like, when
yeah.
I said that a few weeks ago, like I just was shaking hands and he just applied a bit of side pressure and like my elbow popped.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's not
I
fun.
mean, he was being friendly. Imagine if he wasn't.
Maybe that's why Latvians are so good at arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Every greeting is an arm wrestle.
Yeah.
Good to see you. I'll see you next week.
What did you think of the alcoholic Ribena?
Yeah, it was different.
Current drink.
It was very strong. Yeah, it did taste exactly like that alcoholic Ribena. Yeah, it was very, very much a strong taste and burns, and as anything that's 85% alcohol will.
Yeah. There you go.
Is it still got it? Is it still here?
There's still some. Yeah. So I'm looking at the bottle now. So yeah, it's like a black currant flavored alcoholic traditional Latvian drink that Gunter's dropped off for us as to try and kill us, presumably because it's strong and stuff. But he's adamant, old lady, so just have a nip of it, in the afternoon, just to keep pumping for the day.
Are the ghosts that
Have a
came out of
coffee.
it still floating around, or
We're an exorcism. So yeah, having a good little home setup, I think it's really good. I enjoy that. But also 4.5 hours. What is your explanation to your wife when you get home?
Well, she was asleep, so it was fine. Yeah.
Is that worse?
No, it's fine.
Is that worse?
No. She knows that I'm going down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But it was good.
She's a very trusting wife.
Yeah. I was training with one of the.
Yeah.
Well, she should be up. It's been bloody 17 years we've been together.
Yeah. The only man to get in the way was Tito Ortiz.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the only man. Well, there's
The only other man.
Yeah. That's right. And somebody that could kick my ass as well. Has to be them.
Uh.
You couldn't have picked somebody small and weak.
I know.
You have to pick a professional fighter.
What are they doing?
That's
It's
right.
like you're not enough.
Yeah. But well, I don't know. You've seen the way that I train in the gym is I take
Very intense.
I take it to the extreme.
Now I realize why, because you're just showing that bit, but that's like only set you did
Oh no,
for an
that's
hour.
the warm up. Yeah, pretty much.
The rest was just chatting. Yeah.
Well, no, there's
Spotting
there's
other
chatting, and then
people.
once we get into it, I'm not chatting anymore. But they don't have time to chat because I'm just going crazy. But
Crazy.
yeah, I've noticed this over the last
Do people
few
stop and
years.
watch you when you're training?
I
Because you go
have.
into like a full mode. Do you get people's attention? They kind of just can't help it. Like
well, this
in
is
between sets, instead of looking at their phone, they're like looking at you going,
I had one where I was doing, well, there's a shoulder routine I do, which takes about half an hour, and it's half an hour nonstop, like literally nonstop.
wow.
And it's just, it's lateral raise, front raise, like 4 times of those 20 each, into presses, shrugs, 4 times, and then bent over for rear delts, and then the front raises, and then finish with 200 shrugs. So if you get like 5 kilos or 7.5 kilos or something, and just run through that, it takes about 20, 25 minutes.
So what are you
something.
using? 7 kilos?
Yeah, something like
Okay.
that. Which, you think, oh, that's,
No.
it starts off, this
yeah.
is easy.
That's
And
half a
then
minute, yeah.
within the second set, it is burning and it doesn't stop. But one of the guys he was waiting for me to finish that set so he could ask me something. Just kept going, and he kept walking off, and then he would come back, and I was still going. He's waiting, and then he would walk off. It's just like
12:30 a.m. He's walking back. Oh, good, you finished.
He goes, "Do you ever come up for air?"
Are you one of those guys? You got the headset on as well, like you're zoned in, like you're 100%.
If I'm doing something like that,
fucking Terminator style, basically.
If I'm doing something like that, you'll see I'm in absolute agony, and it's like, that's not a good time to
Do you
ask
love
a
the
question.
pain, though?
Yeah, that's what I want. I want to be in that pain as long as I possibly can. I'm reaching, I'm seeking to get there, and then stay there as long as I can. And then if I can't do the weight anymore, then I'll drop it, and so I can stay there. And then can't do that weight anymore, I'll drop it and stay there again. So yeah.
So your cue, if you will, to stop is that you can't move anymore.
Yeah, well, it'll be usually like if I've done 3 drops of something, then it's like, okay, that's enough.
That's enough.
Yeah. But I was talking about this with one of the guys there last night, is that I've trained with a lot of people.
How long does it take you to get a pump now? Does it take you a long time?
No, not really. No, it's still pretty
quick.
good. Yeah, it's still pretty good. I'm a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, it's not crazy heavy. It's so I can do
That's
a lot
of
reps
because you like such high volume. Like, are you getting like if I was doing that, I'd just be super pumped straight away, and then I was like, oh, I'm done. I can't move anymore.
Can't move. That's it. That's all I needed.
Yeah, all right. And so that's weird.
Yeah. Well, it's just different. It's just that's what I like to do, and it doesn't mean that it's going to work for everybody, or even that
it will. And you can sign up to the course now for $99 a month, and it's how would you describe it? An hour of hell a day.
Yeah, well, I do. I've written it out, the program, and I called it "Embrace the Pain."
Embrace the pain. So if you too want to feel pain, you can head over to Hollywood Matt Connolly's channel. If you're already on there, just drop him a DM and let him know that you're interested in the course. It's coming out very, very soon.
But have you had this though? Because you trained for many, many years as well, that people want to train with you. Like, they see that you're training hard, and they're like, "Oh, can I join you for a session?" And you're like, "Yeah, okay." And then within one session, they've quit, and they've actually quit not training with you, but quit the entire gym.
Is it your influence when that happens? Is that what you're wondering? No, they were always losers.
I've had it recently. A few people that I've trained with, and then they've not come back to train with me again. They've not come back at all.
Might have something to do with like the 7,000 fucking reps you made them do. You just thought about that. The depths of fucking hell isn't for everybody. Jumping into the lava pit of life just as a constant reminder of your own mortality.
I love it. I love it. But it's the thing.
Whereas others are motivated by that.
Right.
Yeah. Just not those people.
No, once they experience it, I don't think they want to experience again.
No, they just want cuddles. They want to know everything. Right. They don't need to feel all of that.
That's great.
All they wanted to do was see the outline of their abs.
Cam Chappell says, with 75 kilos, I remember I had a really good rise, but just shy from really good pronation, and I had been lifting on and off arm wrestling style for 5 to 6 months in early 2018, 2019. Later, I suffered an injury and withdrew. Yes. Yeah.
It wasn't withdrew, but he did stop.
No, that's right. Yeah, absolutely.
himself out.
It did. Yeah, that's one of those things. If because the muscles that you're working in those movements, they are quite small. They are quite um, not used in everyday lifts, and so they are very specific movements. And if you're using a lot of weight, if you build up to that level, it's like it's great, but there is that risk that things can go wrong. And even at the absolute elite level, you see like Levan, he was doing something which I think is a very core exercise of just wrist curls when he's damaged his wrist tendon. So it can be one of those things in that realm of the wrist and the forearm that the muscles can be worked in a way that they're really not used to under heavy weight and heavy pressure.
That bar is still recovering that as well. That Levan injured himself on. It was
That's right.
Afterwards.
Well, Tyson Price is here, the man that you had to order a 5XL shirt
5XL.
for.
Yes.
He'll be competing on Saturday against Josh Barker.
It was up until then known as the Mataringi size, and but now it's like, oh, there's a new contender, is there? So 5XL, big man across the table. So I think in this case we've got Josh Barker, 70-kilo champion, known for his press and just the way his ability to be able to move out of the gate so quickly. And up against the man on screen right now. So when we consider this matchup, what thoughts come to mind? Is it that factor? Is it that Hoist Gracie versus Tank Abbott almost? Is it that the small guy versus the big guy? Is it technical versus strength? Are we good at what is that the attraction of this matchup?
Yeah, absolutely, it is. Tyson Price. The great thing about him is that he's having this opportunity to get on the AWE card, and he said, "Look, doesn't matter who I'm against. I'll go against anybody. I'd love to jump on it." Ryan has said that he's very, very powerful, and obviously being a very big man, 155 kilos, we'd love to have him on the AWE not only for this matchup, but heading forwards. It's like, well, those are the sort of athletes that it's like, well, if this guy's incredibly strong and a big guy, it's like, we'd love to have you on the card.
Yeah.
So for him, it's a win-win situation, regardless as to what happens. I mean, if Josh wins, it's still great for Tyson. He gets on the card. He gets to show his element of skill. And it's like, if he gets beaten by Josh, it's more than likely going to be the flash pin that happened from the press.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to say, oh, you got beaten because you're not good. It's like, somebody's just lightning fast and they just pressed me and I couldn't do anything about it.
So let's talk about Josh Barker's journey to this match, because he's been unlucky. He's had a few opponents have to pull out, and at one stage it didn't look like there was a match, and then Tyson emerged as the next matchup. So fill the world in about Josh Barker's journey to this point.
Yeah, unfortunately for Josh, he's had I think 5 different opponents so far, and it's been very difficult. We knew that if we set it in Brisbane, I mean, I think they've got 5 clubs in Brisbane, in Queensland at the moment. So there was a lot of interest in arm wrestling, a lot of really good high level pullers, and it's like, if we're going to Brisbane, there will be someone there that will want to have a match. So when initially he was having his match, it was going to be against Sivajith. Yeah. Well, no, originally it was
Raul Panica.
Raul Panica.
Raul Panica.
That's the one. Yeah. So and then Raul got injured by Sivajith.
So and the man who got to beat the man, he became the man.
That's right. So then he's lined up for that match, and then Sivajith's unable to get into the country, unfortunately, so we had to change again.
Yeah.
We had a couple of people lined up for Josh in Brisbane, which also had to pull out, or they had said they'd expressed interest initially, but then on that date they weren't going to be available. There was some weddings happening. There's about 30 weddings on that day, apparently.
Yes, it's very popular wedding day.
That's right. I hope it rains. No. And so we were able to find somebody finally, and it was Tyson Price, and it was like fantastic. I think Ryan was standing next to Tyson when he said, we did a vote, do you want to go on AWE card and have a match? And he's like, yep. And I think he did yes before he knew who the opponent was. So
I heard it that Ryan said, hey, do you want a free AWE t-shirt? Okay, well, Josh Barker's coming arm wrestling. So yeah, well that's great. And we're rapt to have him on the card, and I'm really excited to see how this match unfolds. And of course, we'll be capturing every angle, every moment, and bringing it to you as part of AWE Underground. So for those that are in the know, you'll already be aware that we're heading up to Brisbane to film our first batch of matches, and but we are leading in with Mazahir Saidu versus Ryan Bowen. On the main streets of New Delhi, with the young man beside me there, beside the great man himself, and as they take on a continent of 1.4 million raging arm wrestling fans. They're all fans of arm wrestling, 1.4 billion of them. Did you know that?
All of them are.
All of them are.
That's right.
Well, they've got their own word for arm wrestling. It's punjo. They claim to have invented the art of arm wrestling.
Oh, do that?
Well, I mean, that was the inference. So yeah,
but that's what this match is about, to prove that it was called arm wrestling before it was called punja. Is that?
Yeah.
The
Well,
stakes.
I mean, they've got an actual name for it. Ours is like arm wrestling. Well, that kind of makes sense. Well, that's but they've got a whole name. It's all part. It's completely embedded in that whole culture.
It is.
So it's the one thing that binds. A lot of people think that India is just one place, but there's a lot of different ethnicities. But the one thing that brings them all together is punja.
That's right. But this just reminds me of very literal names, and my favorite literal name for a superhero specifically, because you've got Batman and you've got Superman, and it's like, very. This is what they are. But He-Man.
Yeah.
You couldn't get a better name. And then I would have loved to have been in the room when the writers were coming up with the name for this character. It's like, well, what does he do? Oh, he's a big muscular dude. He's got a sword. It's like, he's fighting a skeleton guy. It's like, well, what should we call him? It's like, well, he's a man. He-Man. Oh, I like that. He-Man. And then the girl version was She-Ra.
She-Ra, yeah.
She-Ra and He-Man. Yeah. We couldn't get any better than that, I think. He-Man.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also like it was always like a He-Man style lifts, and He-Man, like it's He-Man. I don't know where that too. The more you say it, the weirder it gets, doesn't it?
He-Man.
Yeah, but
that's so good.
But if he changed his pronouns, he could be they man.
He could.
Yeah.
They them.
They them.
They them.
No. They her. They sure. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. But I don't want to offend anyone.
I think we did.
Oh,
well, yay!
Oh, good. That's
what we're here for.
So Thursday nights are all about with Brandy.
Oh, but yes, but hang on.
I think that that new baseball cap will serve you very, very well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for Rickard baseball cap, the over the top style, the turning the switch on. We'll see how it goes. Johan Stoltz, nice to see you in here. But yes, He-Man originally was going to be a Conan the Barbarian cartoon.
That all makes sense.
Yes, so they'd originally drawn it all out, and they had all the storylines, everything there, and then it was okay. This is it. We're going ahead with it.
And then what happened?
And then they had a rights dispute, and they couldn't agree.
Couldn't come to terms.
That's right, and they still had everything there, and they've gone change his hair color to blonde, and we keep everything else the same.
So do you reckon that? So they already had Skeletor was like a spin-off then?
Yeah.
It was just like
it was an afterthought.
All right, now we need a nemesis. So who's that going to be?
Yeah. What are things that are scary? Maybe it was a Halloween that they were, and they looked out the window. Oh, He-Man and there's a skeleton. Yes.
I always like the fact the Skeletor always tried to make you feel a little bit like, oh poor Skeletor. Like, he doesn't really want to be like evil, but
right.
Yeah, he kind of is.
He is. Yeah. He's an evil man.
Yeah. He doesn't just redeem himself in any way.
No.
But you're meant to feel a little bit sorry for him.
I do wonder how his jaw doesn't just fall off when he talks.
Yeah. I'm not sure. It seems to be a lack of ligaments. We're a terrible arm wrestler. So
the great at puncher.
Yes. So Johan, obviously your money is on the young South African. Fox 8 Ball. The hardest thing about arm wrestling for me at the start, at least, was I had never lifted weights, wasn't interested in strength, had no background in it. Started off at 67 kilos, with a fat belly and and stick thin. So you're skinny fat. So and now you're 115 kilos
of He-Man.
He-Man. I feel like that's just the start. Maybe we'll get to the end. I feel like it all started back then.
I feel
the
appropriate thing to say is that he's the same but good at arm wrestling now. But it's such a nasty thing to say.
Well, I want to know what comes next. I want to know where that was going.
Yeah,
I want to know that now you're 83 kilos of lean muscle, jacked because you're just a beefcake.
Woody. You go.
Think I may have installed some good motivation into our buddy Jake at Valhalla 2. After Paul's Valhalla 3 Island March has a tournament pre-main event, which he's entering. Oh, really? Ooh, this is an exclusive.
There you go.
Unless you posted this somewhere else earlier, but
probably
or just made it up. And either way, I'm happy to hear it. This is very interesting. So, are we saying that you are leading Jake back to the competitive table, and that we're going to see Jake emerge? It'd have to be left arm.
Yeah, I mean that's his specialty.
That's it, yeah. So left arm, or is he still nurturing it and protecting it, and keeping it aside for the big match? And so we'll go on right so as to not diminish any of the prestige associated with that golden left of his.
You would think he would do both. I mean, if you're going into a tournament on that side of the world, it's like give yourself the best opportunity for achieving something and do both arms.
I think Jake's just going there to pull to call the event and just jump on the table once. I think that'll be it. Probably after a couple of beers.
Yeah.
I hope Jake's not taking this seriously at all or doing any preparation whatsoever. It just turns up and
yeah. That's what everyone usually does, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
my preparation.
Yes, Josh Barker is a freak of nature. That guy has the speed. He has the flake. I don't know what yours are feeding him, but keep her lit. He's mega to watch. He has the flake. I've never heard of that. Have you heard of that before?
I don't know, but it sounds very interesting.
He has the flake, the Cadbury chocolate bar.
I'm going to start using that. Oh, look at that. Looks like Josh Barker's it's got the flake.
He does. There's definitely a flake about him. The flake is just a twirl without the outer covering of chocolate.
Oh,
really? Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Imagine a cartoon character called Flake Man.
Just crumble apart and just get all over your shirt.
Would he be better?
He'd be slightly annoying because he would be on your shirt and your pants. Damn Flake Man, get off.
Beardriff. That'd be the spin-off.
That's his nemesis.
Nemesis, yes. Catch up. The recent rise and full video documentary relating to Ryan Bowen. Yes, I shared in the chat the other day. Yep. I dropped in there, and I think you did. I think you might have been on that one.
Yep.
You just hashtag Ryan Bowen every day. So,
oh, this is it. This is the one.
Yeah,
the arm historian putting together a fantastic,
really good edit, wasn't it?
Yeah. He did say at the end that it took him way too long to make this video, and that's one of the things that people don't appreciate. His video editing takes ages, especially something of that level. If you're doing it by yourself, which is obviously he's doing. And for that length, I mean, he grabbed clips from years and years ago and cut them all together and, created a very good, compelling story and sort of showing.
To storyboard it all out, wouldn't he? And just really work out it and understand what the sequence is and know what he's trying to find. And it's not like he's got a research team, or maybe he does. We don't know.
Well, probably not.
There's a whole Arm Historian Institute behind him. The Arm Historian Foundation funds it. It's like 38 people working on on that one video.
Exactly right. No, I thought it was very good. Although it is one of those interesting things. I mean, he's titled this series, the rise and the fall, I didn't really see much of a fall in that career of Ryan's. I think that the only sort of contentious part was his falling out with a couple of the promoters around the world. But apart from that, he's just continued to go from strength to strength. It's not as if he's fallen into the ditch and he's never been heard of again.
I liked it because it was a little bit like an old Happy Days episode. It was like a to be continued. It wasn't definitive. It wasn't like he's never coming back.
Yeah, look at him now.
He's all washed up. He's all washed up. So there was none of that. I mean, it was like, and you don't know exactly. I mean, he released it just recently, but you don't know exactly when he was kind of finishing it all off, or when he decided he had to draw the line of all the developments, because the Ron Barth match wasn't probably announced in time for that to be published. The Mazahir match, I think might have got a bit mentioned.
I think it did, yeah, right at the end.
Yeah, right.
Oh, and he's facing Mazahir.
By the way, and then the Knuckles Up matchup that wouldn't have been mentioned either. So these are all very exciting announcements that have just blossomed in Ryan Bowen's world in the last few weeks. So it's just bloody awesome. So I really liked I thought it was pretty fair. I think a good objective analysis of things. You could see where where he kind of opened up the door to those people that think a certain way, and kind of shine a little bit of a light on what perhaps their thinking is. And I thought it was pretty fair. Better than say anything you see on CNN or 60 Minutes or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Yeah, it was very much factual. Here's what has happened, and he's done this, and these people have thought that, and he's done that. He didn't push his own opinion onto it, which is always a very skilled thing to do as a filmmaker or documentary maker.
Do we know who the Armour historian is?
No. Well, I don't.
So it could be Flake Man for all we
know. I think it could be. I think he's just revealed himself. I do like his little icon thing, which is like it's a forearm like that, but it's dressed in like a cloak of when you graduate.
Oh yes,
that's quite well done.
Should we get through?
Yes, we should. Lazy Hook has said that he would love to pull Josh one day. He always has great intensity and is a great puller. Absolutely, he is, and we'll see Josh pull on the weekend. You guys will see it in a few weeks' time, maybe a month or two when we put it all together. But you will see that match. Couch still pulling today. Couch. Who's Couch? Couch Apple. Oh, he's talking to Couch Apple. Okay, sorry, confused
just a
me.
bit of back and forth between the lads.
My favorite superhero is Bullshit Man. Yes, very very popular one. That one very popular with the kids, I believe. They sell a lot of merchandise of Bullshit Man. He's not retired, I hope. Oh, he's talking. This is back and forth, I think. And here we go. He's answering that. I will let them talk to each other. Cameron Greats has said, "Damn it! I just realised that if I were to get a nickname, it would have to be Bubbles." Oh, I think he has the thicker glasses as well. No, it doesn't necessarily have to be. I mean,
you don't have to be Bubbles.
That's right.
You can be Bubbles.
We'll Ron Barth. Jake calls him Ron Bubble Bath. So
Ron Bubble Bath.
Yeah. There you go. And we've got Fox April, who played Adam in the movie. I can't remember. Prince Adam in He-Man. I think it was Dolph Lundgren did that. Well, it was actually. I don't have to think that. I got to 86 kilos.
There are some things you need to think about. That's not one of them.
That's not one of them. I'm a big fan of Dolph Lundgren.
We all are.
I got to 86 kilos. Still not fat, but now I'm a trim 75, ready for nationals, ready to get whooped. All right. There you go. Fox 8 Ball.
75 and lean.
That's right. When I get to Valhalla, nobody's beating me. I mean, nobody. Didn't you just say you were going to get whooped?
Yeah, it's a roller coaster, isn't it, Fox April? It's the highs and lows.
It's two different personalities talking here. We got the Fox, and then we got the 8 Ball.
Yes.
This one's obviously the Fox. When I get to Valhalla, nobody's beating me. Nobody. And then this was the this was the 8 ball, I believe, or whichever the opposite one. You guys can flake on, turn it up. Turn it up. It's another new expression for us. Turn it up.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
Flake on.
Flaked out. Wow.
Flaked out.
Phil Woody couch. Yep. Okay. And yes, Dolph Lundgren. There you go. Masters of the Universe. It was called. Don't think it was called He-Man. I think it was called Masters of the Universe. And right at the end, post-credit scene, because Skeletor got thrown into a pit of volcanic something or another, or Bernie water.
Whatever you like to call it.
Yeah, that post-credit scene, his hand came out of the water. Just the hand, alluding to the sequel.
Yes.
Which is only 40 years in the making.
Yeah, they're working on it.
They're working hard.
But it's better they do that rather than what they did with Star Wars and just completely ruin it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, we are really looking forward to this weekend. So we're going to we might even release some little sneak peeks of what's been going on the AWE website. So stay tuned. If you haven't already, head over to awearmwrestling.com because there's heaps of cool stuff on there. You can learn more about the pullers. You can definitely access cool shirts like what's being modeled here right next to me. And of course, support our friends out there in the corporate world. Our corporate friends of purveyors of biltong and hot chili sauce, and that's Barbell Foods. So the real South African style, the biltong, not the jerky. It's all air dried. That's how you want your meat. Perfect. Absolutely great. I love these packs. Perfect size as well. Great. You can snack on them for a day or two, and it's a nice, healthy alternative. Better than chips. So stop with that. You want to be like Phil Woody and get yourself to a nice, lean 76 kilos, and this is an easy pathway to it. And you can get discounts, as it turns out, on all of these items, and just by hitting AWE at the checkout. So certainly do that and support those that are supporting us and trying to do their bit to ensure that this man's pecs don't stop.
It's a button. If you get the shirt, you press the button and it does that.
It's a special feature. Yeah, it's a prototype. It's experimental. There'll be more. Might be a little bit more than $30.
That's right. It's like one of those hats with the propeller on it. I've always wanted one.
Yeah, no, I can't arrange that. I was thinking maybe I could. No,
I thought if I said it on the show,
if I could just buy one, if I knew where I could get one, it was. But I can't.
What about, have you had those hats? You can get these at the show. It's two little hands, and you pull a string, and they clap. Yeah. They're not as good, but they're quite.
That'd be a runner-up for you.
I think I've had one of those, but I've never had the propeller.
Yeah. I wonder what kind of behaviours to get away with if you wear one of those hats around the place, just like as a 40-odd-year-old man just walking around an airport, for instance, in Brisbane.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be able to wear it for too long.
So big matches, big names.
Cameron's got a good question you might want to answer here.
What advice can you give me for a first comp? I'd procrastinate. I'd really put that first comp off as far into the future as possible, and I'd spend every day between now and that first competition just preparing. Just every day, because you're too weak to win right now.
So only go in if you're going to win.
Only if you're 100% sure.
Right.
100% sure. If you're at 98, I do not want you standing next to that table. That's arm break mentality. You need to be 100% ready, Cameron. And until you are, I don't think you should even try.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's my advice. But what would you say?
Probably the opposite of that.
Interesting.
No, that's right. I mean, just getting out and competing is going to be fun, regardless. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. If you go
a lot of pressure,
if you lose, you're out of the family and you're not welcome back ever. That's what you should have mentality wise going in, because if you lose, you will never be able to train with us ever again. It is one of those things that go in and have the mindset of, I'm doing this for fun, and if I win a match, that's amazing. If I get a stop, that's awesome. You're more than likely just going to get blown away. But if you stick around and you can get on with the people that did beat you, and you can have amazing time with the after pull and all the rest of it, there is so much to learn with starts and with competition style pulling compared to slow pulling or training, which is so different. You know, if you get into a super match position and somebody is going 100% at you, and you're in theory doing the same, it is so different to any kind of replication you can do in just training pulls. You know, where you're sort of going, "Are you ready? Yeah, yeah, let's go. Okay, you ready? Yeah, all right," and away you go. You know, with the referee lining you up, and even if you feel ready and feel like you've trained a lot and you've practiced the starts and everything like that, you can still get up there, and those nerves can sort of hit you because everyone's sort of watching, and you might feel, oh, everyone's going to see me get beaten, or I might, and so that might be the catalyst. But the only way to get through that is to continuously face that fear and just not worry about the result. Just go up and give your absolute best effort. Try to win. But if you don't win, if you just get blown away, then it's okay. You're there. Try to enjoy yourself, and then stick around and get on the table, because you get on the table with all sorts of different people. Especially you can get on with the people who beat you and be like, what was it? What did I do wrong? Or because they might think, oh man, I really had to work hard. Oh, I didn't even realize. Like for me, it felt like you just ran through me, and it's like, no, you were very strong in that position. I really had to work hard to get through. What I did was I did this. So if you're able to stop people from doing that, you're quite good. You might not know that until somebody actually tells you. So yeah, it is.
So you choose what advice you want to take. It's a fork in the road, obviously, isn't it? But one thing that actually you said to me, Matt, was that you just learn so much more through those competition starts and that pressure than what you do. You just need to do it. And I think that if you're in a club, which you are, but if you're in a club, it's easier because probably to avoid injury, mostly if you're jumping into a tournament and you don't know the level of caliber of those, and they don't know yours, so they're just going all out, and you might just find yourself in a bad position, for instance. It's much better when you're in that club environment and you kind of know where your level's at, and you kind of know the style that you're dealing with, and you can be safe with it. That's the important thing.
Yeah, well, that's why with the tournaments that we've ran here in Adelaide in South Australia, we've had a beginners class for that reason. And the beginners class is for people that this is their first time stepping up to a table to compete. It's not for people who have had super matches. It's not for people who have got a lot of experience or entered tournaments before. It's like, this is for people who are just coming into the arm wrestling world. And it's like, we've created this division for you guys. So you're going up against people theoretically of the same skill level. It's like people who are 6 months or less into the sport. So you can still get on the table and compete in a tournament, and you can enter the other classes as well. But you're not going up, and it's like, okay, like for me, I'm a heavyweight. So, and there was no beginner class when I went to my first 3 or 4 tournaments, and I was 0-8 in, it was just, I think I was 4 weeks in when I went to my first tournament to compete. And it was just, it was basically a waste of time for me to compete, because I just got flattened. And again, over and over, because I'm stepping up against the biggest, the strongest guys straight off the bat. But I would have loved it if they did have that amateur or beginners division, because I would have been able to enter that, and maybe I would have had some back and forth with somebody, and I would have learned more than just getting destroyed. But I definitely learned more being able to get on the table with everyone afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's still fun. Like, you can go and you don't have to win for it to be an enjoyable day.
Yeah. And one of the great things is that, like, after pool, too. So just going to some of these competitions, and maybe not even competing, but just jumping on the tables afterwards and being part of that discussion and seeing how people won and what how they went about it and what advice they've got, and there's so much to learn. So it's super cool. So what do we got? What are we going to close this big bad boy out with? Great question, Cameron. He gets question of the night. So thank you very much for that question, Cameron. And like I say, fork in the road, you can take my advice on that. So it's up to you.
You haven't competed in a tournament, have you? Because you've been helping run them.
Yeah, I did. I did the left arm because I came.
You won, didn't you? You
Did I-
won
I
one
might
of the
have-
divisions.
Maybe I won.
I think you won the beginners
Yeah.
one in the left arm.
I'm a novice.
Yeah,
left
yeah,
arm.
that's right. Yeah, but you were not only did you win that, but you were running around the whole day and seeing all the rest of the events.
Yeah, I was
You
stadium
had to keep
announcer
running
for the
back.
day, and there was cage announcer at night time.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah, it was good. It was a good, busy day.
It
Good day.
was. Oh,
Got a
that's
trophy.
I remember
Don't know
that.
where it is, but I got a trophy.
Well, didn't you pay for the trophies?
I don't know.
I got 2 trophies
Maybe.
and I didn't win,
think
or I didn't win them. They just got left
You
somehow.
got the, it's just inherited them.
Yes.
No, you're the big winner. You deserve them.
You served them for going 0-8.
Oh no, so you would deserve it for persisting.
Cameron Greats. So far, I've been working out arm wrestling for a year now, so I've got decent strength. That's awesome. Continue in that realm. Love to see you down at the club. It is great. Come down for a super match. That's probably one of the best.
I'll take you on.
Yeah, one of the best things you can do is having matches against
How
people.
big are you, Cameron?
I think he's I think he's under 18 still.
Ooh.
But he's quite a big guy. I'm guessing at 90 kilos,
Did I
something like
take
that.
Oh, he's too close. I don't know. But young big man, I don't like it. Might be too much of a challenge.
Yeah, he was having
I'll take you on. I'll take you on, Cameron. I'm going to throw out the challenge now. So a couple of weeks' time, we'll get back from Brisbane and we'll see what's going on.
Well, if he wants to come down, there's
You wanna
the
come
challenge
down?
has been thrown out for you, Cameron.
All right, you've got that, Cameron. The ball's in your court, as they say. So I'm all in. I'm all in.
That's right. Well, you did. Your last match was against Jack, and you won that one comfortably. So
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a purple patch for me.
you're holding the record.
I've got a one win streak.
You've called out a person who's never had a match or ended.
Oh yeah, that's how I'm going to keep this streak going.
Right, yeah.
It's a really
Good
just
move.
picking off people that are asking me for advice. That's
right. What should I do? You should have a
You
match
should.
with me. Is what you should do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's great.
well, I've given you options. I did say. I mean, this what you were very articulate. And it was very good advice.
Oh.
Very good advice. I'd just like to play that devil's advocate, give an alternative option, and then we came up with super match. So it's all worked out.
Yeah.
It's all worked out. It's all in your court.
But one of those things that is different though, if you're going into a match or a tournament, maybe the referee, even if you've been training at your club and you've been doing starts and you've been doing all that sort of thing, and maybe you've had a couple of super matches, but this is your first tournament experience, the referees might be completely different style to what you're used to, and maybe you're expecting them to take a second or two once you've been lined up, and then they're going to say go. But it might be that you half sort of set and they said go, and you're like and you before you've realized that the match started a second ago, and you've been beaten before you can actually apply pressure.
I heard a rumor that we've got a superstar referee for AWE Underground, and he's pretty rapid fire. Bang!
He has an interesting style. And I don't know if you've seen the very specific thing that he does, which is different to most referees.
No,
which is why Ryan called it the Grand Prix start. Is that he'll line? This is Lachlan Adair who's doing the refereeing for us, and thank you, Lachlan, for doing this. But he will line you up, get you ready, and then he's with his own fingers. He will go.
I love it.
So you'll get like a 3, 2, 1, go, like countdown.
I love it. The Grand Prix start.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah, that's different. So that's different again.
Can we incorporate noises like boop, 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 beep?
No, you went on the boop, not the beep.
Oh no, that's a foul.
Yeah, that's right. But
yeah.
again, that style of refereeing is different to what I would do, or what you might do, or what people in your club might do. So the best way to combat that is just going out and experiencing many different types of refereeing, so that you come up with a strategy that no matter what the referee does, you're going to be able to time it. You see a lot of matches where people are just watching the referee.
Yeah,
they're not watching their opponent or their hand.
Yeah.
They're looking at the referee like, when is he going to say go? Because when they can sort of read the body language or read the mouth, and that's like, okay, he's paused, he's about to say go. Sure. And then they've hit. So and those things you won't learn until you've competed.
Yeah. Yep, that's interesting. I wonder, how much for somebody like Josh Barker, it's like reading the body language and, just having that instinct and this is bloody amazing, isn't it? So we want to wish Phil Woody all the very best with his Yorkshire Cup, I'd imagine, Yorkshire Cup this Saturday. So all the very best there. Warzone format, pro class, all the best. Phil, wishing you every success. I'm sure you'll walk away with some great stories, even if not a medal or a trophy yourself. So looking forward to that for you and to everybody. Well, I think this will be our last podcast before we lean into the production phase of AWE for a little while, and we will be filming some of these matchups as part of the AWE Underground series. That'll be released every week, starting the week after the 10th of November. And then it will be leaning in, of course, with that most anticipated matchup on the mean streets of New Delhi, Mazahir Saidu versus Ryan Bowen. We will then be following up with the two of the largest athletes in the arm wrestling world colliding over the table, the Tahitian Wrecking Ball Marcus Iturai versus New Zealand's strongest man, Matarangi the Beast, Hedda Morris. So this is going to be two matchups that we just can't wait to bring you.
Absolutely. Before we finish up, did you want to quickly go through the Rickard Borman and Bowen Contado match?
We can do that for sure. Yeah. So I am feeling like that's kind of going to be about 3 or 4 weeks away.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of the release, but in terms of the actual matchup,
I mean the matchup. So pure speculation here. So Rickard Borman has turned out to be a superstar in our family. There's not too many days that go by that Rickard's name it can't be heard in the Stockbridge household. My wife loves him. My son loves him. I love him. He's just a spectacular young athlete, and he's just got such a good work ethic. And he's not only is he blessed with exceptional strength and talent, but also with a passion to leverage it and to make the most of it. And it's rare that you get super talented people who recognize that and are willing to keep delving in and sharpening their sword and becoming the best version of themselves. And Rickard's one of those. So he's a super exciting. He's a real phenomenon. I mean, at just 20 years of age, over 120 kilo, 124 kilos, something like that, 6'4". Ryan Bowen struggling outside of straps to hold on to the kid. It's just unbelievable. But then on the other side of the table, you've got a worthy adversary in Australia's top wood chopping champion. I mean, this is Bowen Contado has just emerged on the arm wrestling scene, and of course, all those years of chucking an axe into the side of a tree have developed a certain type of wrist strength and pronation that seldom outside of concreters and mechanics are you likely to come across in the natural world. And so he's come to arm wrestling with all of the arm wrestling strengths already there, all of those things that takes people like you and I who've been around weights for years and decades. Still takes us years to get that type of strength. He's got that old man pronator strength and wrist and hand strength, but he's not even 30 years old. So this is super exciting to see. Again, it's like I mentioned earlier, the early days of MMA where you've got people crossing over from those chosen sports. And for him, it was wood chopping, and it reached the heights. He was Australian champion, and his brother is quite the phenomenon in the sport as well, and has also turned his hand to arm wrestling. So both lads leaning into arm wrestling now, which is really exciting for the sport. But to see him come over at the top of his field in another sport and put his reputation on the line at AWE is something I think speaks volumes of this exciting young athlete in Bowen Contado. So again, I kind of feel like this is the first of many matchups we'll see over these two young athletes' long careers. And we've already seen we've had a taste, but it was in tournament format. And Rickard came out on top with that. But tournaments, as we know, are completely different. You're not preparing for an opponent. You could have had a war 5 minutes earlier, and your opponent might have had an easy walk through to the finals. So we're going to see both men fresh, fully prepared for each other. And this is going to be one of those matchups people will be talking about for a very, very long time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's very exciting. One of these matches that we've got happening on Saturday, incredible. They're so exciting. Cannot wait to see all of them. Everyone on the card. It's going to be very exciting. We've got Matt Aringi, Hannah Morris has jumped in. He said some people are dealt different cards, my friend. Absolutely, and you look at somebody like Richard Bornman, who is 20 years old and incredibly strong, and what an athlete. And then you've got Bowen Contado, who's come from a background of wood chopping.
So it's like that repetitive strength. Like what a peculiar kind of. And you think, what other sports could you apply that to? And arm wrestling is the natural one, but amazing that he's found the sport.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's fantastic. So that's going to be taking place this Saturday. You guys will get to see it in a few weeks. And yes, it's going to be very, very fun for us. But I think are we ready to wrap up here?
I think we're ready to wrap up just as the big man appears on screen. Matt Aringi, the beast, Hannah Morris, New Zealand's strongest man, AWE superstar, taking the arm wrestling world by storm. It doesn't matter what continent he's on. He's always making a splash, and he will be AWE Underground. We're going to see the big man in person for the first time in several months on not the Gold Coast, in Brisbane. I believe the big man, he arrives tomorrow morning. So Brisbane, watch out.
Yeah.
And yourself, you'll be arriving also. I think
That's
you're
right.
arriving within about half hour of the beast. And
That's
so I think Bowen Contado kind of lands at around the same, all within half an hour of each
That's
other.
right.
So you'll be heading out there together happily. Bottoming out a little minivan again, no doubt, with a whole bunch of arm wrestlers.
I haven't upgraded that car. I forgot about it. I've got like the smallest car because originally when I booked it, I was just for
Did
me.
you do that for the content? What are you doing?
He might come back with some broken axles.
Oh no! Well, can't wait, big fella. It's going to be awesome. Just great. So it's a big flight for Matt Aringi. He's having to come all that way from Auckland. So I think it's like a 6 hour, 7 hour flight. He's departs tomorrow. Well, very early tomorrow.
Yeah.
Very fortunately because of the time difference. He basically flies over and he lands at the same time as he left.
He was
and then he goes back. He loses 4 days.
Must be leaving at like 2 a.m.
Yeah. So he lands very early Brisbane time. So it's going to be a long day for the big man. So we tried to get him some extra leg room seats and stuff like that. I think on the way back he's just on the edge of the aisle, but it's a really wide plane. So you hope
sits on the wing. I think he gets the wing
the
seat.
other one. Yeah, well, one of the flights I was able to get. There's a little bit more leg room. Those extra ones.
Oh, the emergency rows. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, he says he has to wake up at 3 a.m.
Well, so that's like in 15 minutes time, basically. We can't wait to see you, mate, and it's going to be it's just going to be awesome to catch up, but it's going to be great. I was just watching your story a little bit earlier where you were showing the forearm development, the freakish forearm development, Marcus Satiro's got he's got a very, very well prepared human to be competing with tomorrow. So haven't seen much from Marcus's camp in the lead up. Haven't seen any boastful claims or even any gym time. There's almost been a media blackout from Marcus Satiro. I just wonder if that's just part of the agenda or whether he's just lazy with social media. I'm not sure. But can't wait for the matchup either way. So it's going to be great. Hollywood Matt Connolly, any final thoughts?
Yeah, the biceps will finish this off.
I think that's it. I think so looking good. They're very, very looking. Yeah.
Right.
Things filled out a little bit in the last few weeks.
A little bit.
You're peaking for AW without even competing.
It's a smaller shirt. That's what.
That'll do it too.
Each week.
Yeah.
Smaller.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much to everybody who tunes in every week, to all the guys that are there and on screen. Thank you very much to all of our supporters, to all those people that head over to awearmwrestling.com to visit our site. We see it every time you pop in and see the site. So we love it when you do that. Thank you very much. And certainly subscribe when you get there. You don't have to sign up to be a member or anything like that. You can simply subscribe to be on the mailing list so you can find out about stuff before the rest of the world, exclusive content. That's going to be something we'll be building out in the weeks and months to come. And of course, head over to Barbell Foods. The guys over there have a little code word. If you pop it in, it's AWE, and you'll get 10% off. And of course, the same goes with Munster's Hot Sauce, the number one selling hot sauce on Amazon right now, and you can get 10% off when you put in AWE, the password. We'll have big announcements into next week, big new sponsor announcements we're very excited about, and as we come out the other side of AWE Underground, there's a whole lot more excitement to come between now and Christmas, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. We'll end it there.